Hello citizens, it's Dirty Dodger. Today I'm starting the first in a series of informative videos about Star Citizen and its universe. This video is a look at the ship composition within Star Citizen universe and a breakdown of some of those components, modules, and just a general technical overview to see just what our very expensive internet spaceships consist of. For those of you who aren't aware, my channel is based around science fiction and gaming, focused primarily on Star Citizen, its development, news, updates and general information. I'm hoping by the end of this video, not only will you have a wider knowledge of just how these ships and their components function to provide us with an operational spaceship, but I'm hoping you'll also be able to read and understand a technical overview about the ships, which is found on the RSI website a little bit better as well. Ships in the Star Citizen universe are constructed by manufacturers. Each of these manufacturers have their own unique build design and look, which really helps make them stand out. Looking at the ship from both the inside or the out, you should already have a general idea of which manufacturer this came from. As you expect, all ships will require basic hardware or components to function. These will range from engines, thrusters, power plants, shields, coolers, weapons and other equipment too. We'll have a look at those a little more in depth as we break down and look at a few examples. So let's start by having a look at one of the two starter package ships, the Mustang Alpha. On the RSA website, if you hover over the Ships tab to bring up the list of manufacturers. Here, if you're happy you know the name already, you can navigate your way directly to it by clicking on the manufacturer's name, in this case Consolidated Outlands, and then scrolling down to locate the Mustang Alpha. If you're unsure, you can always go back and click on All Ships. Here, in the search bar, you can manually type in the name of the ship you wish to view and click Search. From here, click View Specs and Options on the top right to open up more information about your selected ship. On this page you'll find a whole array of other information about the ship you've selected. It will give you an overview, concept art, technical overview and potentially a variance matrix depending on which ship you've selected and if it has other variant types. There may also be buying options if the ship is available to purchase, and a link to download and view the brochure. Brochure basically wraps up all the info found on the specs page but formats it into a little snazzy snails brochure from the manufacturer. So clicking on the technical overview tab, it takes us down and this page basically shows us exactly what the ship is capable of carrying in the way of hardware, but it also shows us exactly what is already installed and comes with the ship if we decide to purchase it. This section is broken into three. Starting from the left we have the key technical information. The focus, this tells us what style of gameplay this ship is aimed towards. This one has starter being one of the starter ships. Other roles and focuses may include fighter, exploration, interdiction and stuff like that. And then goes on to list other details about the ship such as the length we've got there, the mass, the max crew size and the cargo capacity as well. So moving into the middle section we have the propulsion overview. Here it lists all forms of propulsion found aboard the ship and the power plant which is used to power them. The top line shows us primary engines. These are the main engines on the ship used to produce momentum both in space and atmosphere. Here you can see they have a max size allocation of TR2 and TR is thrust rating, and this can be used to describe the output of that specific engine. So the larger the number, the larger the TR. We have two spaces for two primary engines as depicted by the triangle next to this. Both of these triangles are highlighted blue, which means if you look at the key in the top right, it tells us the slot is occupied. To find out more information about installed modules, all you have to do is click on it. It expands open to tell us its type, in our case a primary engine slot, but also the max rating shown as well, which for us here is TR2. Then for installed components it tells us the manufacturer's model and name, along with the installed module's actual thrust rating, in our case TR2. Underneath the primary engines then we have the manoeuvring thrusters. These are the thrusters used to position and orientate the ship whilst in space, and without these travel in one direction would only be possible. While they do provide a certain amount of forward momentum to the ship, using these as primary means of travel would make for a long and tedious spaceflight. Thrusters are usually much smaller than primary engines and consume less power, meaning for us these have a max size of TR1. We currently have 8 hydropropulsion M116 thrusters installed on this Mustang Alpha, as you can see there. Lastly, on the propulsion overview section we have the power plant. This will be used to power a vast array of ship systems as well as the engines and life support. Here you can see we've got the max size of 3 and currently installed is a size 2 Endurance 600. Although if you click on it, it shows the slot size capacity as 2. Cross-checking with the brochure, it tells us in fact the max size is 3. So this will potentially allow for a further upgrade once the size 3 is available to purchase. On the right hand side we have the hardpoints overview. This shows us the ship's weapon hardpoints, shields and additional equipment slots available too. The weapons are then broken down into further categories depending on the weapon type. They are fixed, gimbaled, unmanned turrets, manned turrets and pylons. Fixed turrets are just that, they are fixed in one position. Gimbaled weapons allows turrets to move, usually following your target reticle. The space in which you can track a target with a gimbaled weapon is quite limited, but still allows you that freedom to move. Whilst having the advantage to move, the gimbal usually comes at a cost penalty, which is a down step in turret size. So whilst the advantage for a fixed weapon is that you can utilise the full hardpoint max size, the disadvantage is that you cannot move it. Case of personal preference. Manned turrets are weapons mounted on a ship that need human or NPC interaction to be used. The player will generally enter a seat or platform where they'll be loaded up into the weapon. Here they can kind of look around with a certain degree of freedom, which is more than the gimbaled weapons, and operate the weapon from within. One disadvantage here may be the limited firing arcs of the weapons positioned, especially on the side of a ship or say to the rear as well. With unmanned turrets or auto turrets, we can expect to see turrets controlled by a tracking computer of sorts. Whilst these turrets can in certain aspects be less efficient in accuracy than manned turrets, these can prove cost effective to players with larger ships opposed to subsidising NPCs to man them. We may also have the potential to upgrade the tracking computer later to provide better hit ratios for these turrets. And that just leaves pylons, which are essentially the mounts on which missiles are loaded and fired from. For all weapon hardpoints, if you click to find out more information about the installed module, there is a subtle difference on its description. This time we have the hardpoint name at the top, followed by its max size as well next to the name. This is then followed by the location of the hardpoint. The rest is the same, followed by the manufacturer's name, the model and the actual weapon size. If we move down to the shield next, its name and max size is shown just like the propulsion overview section. This time if we open up the shield module info, we can see on this Mustang, although we have a max size of 2, we only have a size 1 Ink 1 Seal Corp shield fitted. Potential for an upgrade later? Maybe. Although the game is still in alpha, upon release we can expect to see upgrades to weapons and shields demanding increased usage of the ship's power supply, which may not always be upgradable due to size or weight limits. This in turn will cap a player from taxing the power supply too much and limit what he or she can fit to their ship. For additional equipment then, here we will see a vast array of other equipment that the ship has to offer. This can range from docking collars, jump computers, tractor turrets, jump drives, cargo pods, you name it, and really anything else that's role specific to that ship can also be found in this section, which we'll have a look at shortly. All the ships on the RSO website follow this simple layout using a technical overview. Modules do vary though depending on the ship's size, design or role type. Let's quickly compare a few examples as they increase in size and change roles as well. So looking at the Cutlass Black, its focus is military and patrol, so immediately we can expect to see potentially more weapons and stronger shields and bigger power plant maybe. Being a larger ship as well, we have primary engines, 2 again, but this time with a max TR of 4. We have 4 times TR3 and 8 smaller TR1 thrusters together. We also have a max size 4 shield and power plant. Weapons, we now have capacity for 2 times size 3 fixed weapons, 1 size 3 gimbaled, 2 size 2 pylons for missiles, and a size 1 manned turret. Here we see some role specific additional equipment as well, which includes the docking collar and tractor turret. For the Constellation Aquila, much larger in size again, but this time more role specific for exploration. So potentially we'll have less room for weapons and maybe more rooms for scientific exploration kit. Let's have a look. Bigger, heavier ships, we now have 4 times TR5 engines to move it with 8 TR3 thrusters. We've got a size 6 shield and power plant with 4 size 4 gimbaled mounts, 2 times size 2 pylons with a single size 4 manned turret. Here we see an even bigger array of additional equipment, such as a jump drive, we've got a jump computer, long range scanners, all the goodies that may come with a large exploration vessel. So as we can see, as the size of the ship increases, we generally see an increase in the max size or max TR for a specific module that can be installed. That brings me to the end of my first informative video for Star Citizen about the technical overview as well as the ship composition found on the RSI website. I hope you have found this video useful, guys. If you have, please make sure you like and subscribe for further content from myself. Also, make sure you check out my other videos on Star Citizen and Squadron 42, some links down below along with the links to the pages from today's video as well. If you have any questions, comments or queries, please write them in the comment section. Like I said, please like and subscribe. Make sure you check me out on Twitch, Twitter and YouTube if you share my passion for gaming and science fiction. I am the Dirty Dodger. I am a forum member for the Star Citizen community, which is called Redacted. Make sure you check out the link below to the site for a lot more videos, info and news. Hope to see you in the verse, guys.